If you've ever gone from calm to, I swear to God, in under 5 minutes, you're not broken. You're just hitting your lid. And today we're talking about what that actually means physiologically and how to raise it. Welcome back to Unapologetically in Power. I'm Jennifer Damascus. And this month we're talking about what happens when things don't work out as expected, because that's where leadership gets real. Not when everything is smooth, but when life interrupts your plan and your body starts running the show. And I want to anchor today in Maxwell leadership law that is painfully relevant, the law of the lid. Maxwell teaches that your leadership effectiveness is limited by your lid, or your current level of leadership capacity. So my translation for high-performing women, your lid is your capacity to stay in authority under stress. It's not your ability to be perfect. It's not your ability to be nice. It's your ability to stay in internal authority when your nervous system gets activated. So let me show you what I mean with the story that my husband finds way too entertaining. When I record my podcast episodes, the cats decide it's their moment. I sit down, I'm ready, I'm grounded, I've got my mic, I've got my notes, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. And the cats, who have been asleep for hours, suddenly become professional wrestlers, tap dancers, opera singers, and a demolition crew, sometimes all together. So usually I start out calm. Very much, okay, guys, mom is recording. I need you to be quiet, please. Regulated, respectful, a woman of leadership. And for a second, it works. And then it doesn't. Because reality keeps realitying. And I can feel it. And my body starts tightening. My jaw, my shoulders, my breath gets shallow. My patience starts leaking out like a slow tire. So I escalate. Hey, seriously, can you not? Then, okay, I'm not playing, stop. And then eventually I hit the part that my husband has to edit out, because he'll be listening back, cutting the audio, and he'll hear me go from calm podcast host to woman in fight mode. And the final form is always something unhinged like, will you be quiet, or just enough? Yes. I have said that to a cat. And yes, my husband laughs hysterically every single time. And yes, it's humbling to realize the thing that breaks my leadership composure is a 9-pound feline overlord. But here's why this matters. That escalation, calm, goes to irritated, to frustrated, to reactive. It's the same pattern that shows up in your life when things don't go as planned. And it's not about cats. Cats are just an aggressive case study. The teaching is the lid shows up under stress. So most women think their leadership lid is about their skills, their confidence, their strategy, mindset. And yes, those things matter. But if you're a high-performing woman, your lid often shows up as a nervous system capacity, because when stress rises, your ability to stay in internal authority gets tested. And if your system doesn't have enough capacity in that moment, you don't stay in authority. You move into control, force, sharpness, urgency, micromanagement, shutdown, over-explaining, people-pleasing, self-betrayal. So the question isn't, why am I like this? question is, what happens in my body right before I lose access to authority? Frustration equals doorway to fight mode. Let's name this clearly. Frustration is often your system entering fight mode. Not because you're dramatic, not because you're immature, but because your body is reading the moment as, this isn't working, I'm expending energy, I'm not getting the result, I'm losing control. And for high-performing women, losing control doesn't just feel annoying, it can feel unsafe because control has been the strategy. So your system mobilizes, and that's fight. And fight doesn't always look like yelling. In high performers, it often looks like getting tense, getting rigid, pushing harder, trying to dominate the outcome, snapping at people you love, making it mean something about you. And the escalation ladder is how you hit that lid. So here's the ladder. One, it starts off with expectation. So it's, this should go smoothly. And then you go into interruption. Reality says, nope. Try again. So we move into a stress spike and your body tightens, which moves into a control attempt. It's, let me fix this fast. And then there's more interruption. It's still not working. So that jumps to frustration. And why is this happening? And your fight response goes to force, sharpness, and urgency. And then afterwards, you're left in the aftermath of feeling shame, regret, and cleanup. And that moment between controlling it with, let me fix this fast, and the frustration of, why is this happening? That is where your lid is. So how do we raise the lid? And I'm talking in real life and not just theory. Here's the part that changes everything. You don't raise your lid by shaming yourself. You raise your lid by building capacity. And capacity is built through practice under stress, not practice when everything is calm. So here's a simple 3-step authority under stress protocol. 1, you name it. So in your head, you don't have to say it out loud. In your head, I'm hitting my lid. Not I'm failing, not I'm too much, just I'm hitting my lid. That language keeps you in leadership with yourself. The second step is to regulate for 90 seconds. So it's doing one thing that tells your body it's safe. So you exhale longer than you inhale. You unclench your jaw. You drop your shoulders. Press your feet into the ground. Sip water slowly. Look away from the trigger for a moment. And this is not woo, this is leadership. Because if you can't lead your state, you cannot lead the moment. So the third step of this is to choose your next move. You ask, what would internal authority do next? And internal authority might be pausing the recording and putting the cats in another room. Stop forcing the conversation and come back later. Say, I need a minute before I respond. Change the strategy instead of escalating the effort. Set a boundary instead of having a breakdown. So when things don't work out as expected, it's not just an inconvenience. it's a leadership moment because it reveals your lid where you lose yourself, where you force, where you perform, where you abandon your authority to get control. And the goal is never to get frustrated. The goal is to stay in authority while you're frustrated. That's the power. So this week, I want you to notice, what's your early warning sign that you're hitting your lid? Is it your jaw, your breath, your tone, your urgency? And instead of making it mean you're failing, try this. I'm hitting my lid. Let me lead my state. In the next episode, we're talking about the moment you realize you're forcing it and how to stop pushing without collapsing, because that's the edge for so many high-performing women. And if this hits you, share it with a woman who's been holding it together a little too tightly. And I'll see you next time right here on Unapologetically in Power.